How many sponsors are you looking for? Because I want to kind of try to keep it reasonable to where.
I think we can do. We can do 2 a show. Minus, now we're live. It's on. You can do 2 a show. At least, I mean, there's how many weeks? We got, what, 3 weeks of football now?
Yeah, it's 6 weeks. So you're talking about 6 sponsors for the next 3 weeks? Well, what we're talking about for the year, though.
I would 2 week for this show. We're 2 week for the next
13 weeks.
14 weeks.
Then you got the bowl game, 15.
Yeah. So you take 15.
30?
Yeah. Well, up to 30, or if somebody can buy multiple.
Right.
You know, we can get somebody who wants to do it every week. That'd be awesome too. Hey, that would work as well. Let's see. Oh, that's
Sponsor the whole show. They'll do like the segments in there.
It's a little dark.
Well, I got a dark shirt on. If you do, what you had told me.
Well,
earlier.
I got lights actually. I mean, it's dark all together over here. Here, I'll flip this thing. I was trying to see my equipment, but which everybody that's watching this live is just probably loving it.
Probably wonder why it's taking so long to get ready, huh?
Hey, first game of the season, first show of the season.
That's right.
First show. It's worth.
Have they come out with the depth chart yet?
Yeah, they came out with the depth chart. Depth chart's out. Came out a few days ago.
Oh, there it is.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
All right, so let's test. I don't know how loud this is going to be. All right, so this is episode 0 of Tommie Frazier's Husker Nation. And so this is brand new. We're just doing Husker Talk on this one, right?
Right, just Husker Talk.
So, all right. Let's see. I even got some new music. I got rid of the intro. Like, that thing's so long, I'd rather just talk over it.
Yeah, it was kind of long.
I liked it a lot at the beginning, but then
when you're trying to speed time up and
it got repetitive. And I notice every time I listen to a podcast, I'm always jumping ahead.
Right.
So I say, hey, let's just grab some music and we can talk over it. And this is for all the people that want to have a sponsor with us. Like, this would be where we talk about them and toot their horn and all those things.
Yeah, I'm game for that. You know, we're gonna change the style, the format up a little bit this year, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. You know, hopefully we can get to where we have people actually calling in and talking to us. You know, especially if we're doing it live. You know.
Yeah, we can do it. So it's pretty slick now. So for those that didn't know, last year we recorded, or every year we recorded. I guess we could turn this down a little bit. But when we recorded, and then it would take about a day before it got out. Maybe that night, but It took some effort. So now we're going to record, and we're attempting to do Facebook Live today, which is a first. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, so people be patient with it if it doesn't come out perfect.
Yeah, totally trial and error, so we'll see how it goes. And if the sound, my biggest worry is the sound, but we'll work through that and get that better. But once we're done recording this, it'll be posted online within 5 minutes.
That's what we like.
The turnaround time on these are going to be much quicker, so hopefully we'll watch the game, and then the next morning or afternoon or whenever we'll do the show, and then we'll get it right back out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm on game for that.
So much quicker turnaround time.
You know, anything for the fan base to make it better. People who want to follow us on this podcast, you know, we want them to get the information right away. So we're always trying to upgrade technology and material.
Yeah, sometimes I upgrade too fast. I do more upgrades than
I know. Every time I come down here, that's like, okay, where did that come from?
Yeah, there's more equipment in the rack right now than we've ever had. But that's half the fun.
Yeah, but move to bigger and better things this year.
Yeah, do multiple shows and play with it. But we're here to talk about the Huskers.
Yes, we are.
2016 season.
Exciting. I'm a college football junkie, and I love it when the first Thursday night of the season, you start hearing about, and you look at everything on sports talk shows. It's college football season, and I get more excited about the college football season than I do the NFL season, the pro season, and then especially when the big question out there in football land in Nebraska is how good is Nebraska going to be this year? And my answer, because it's a safe answer, they're going to be better than they were last year. You know, and that's where Nebraska is right now, to where people, when you try to predict them what their record is going to be, don't, people, stop. You know, just hope and wish that they have a winning season this year, because what happened last year, no one wants that again. You know, so if Nebraska goes 7-7, people aren't going to be happy with that. You know, so just have a winning season before you go into the bowl game. Is my hope.
Well, what do you think? I'll just start with that question. And what do you think is success to this team in 2016? So at the end of the year, Mike Riley is going to chalk this up as a successful year if what happens?
Well, I think if they have a winning season, you know, because it is year 2, and they always say the biggest improvement with the programs between 1 and 2, year 1 and 2. So I think if they improve on both sides of the balls, and when I say improve on both sides of the ball to where offensively they cut down the mistakes and moving the ball at a more consistent basis, in defense where they're getting off the field, you know, they're creating turnovers and getting off the field and eliminating the big plays. You're going to have big plays on defense that are going against you, but you got to minimize how many you have in a season.
Do you think the record goes into the success factor at all, or do you think there's more fundamentals and other things that play a bigger picture?
No, I think the record is big. You know, just look at last year when they were 5-7, and then they go and beat UCLA in 6-7. People weren't happy with that because it was still a losing season. You know, so I think for fans, in my opinion, for fans to be happy with the season, it has to be a 9-3, 8-4 season, and because now they see the improvement, and plus you got a lot of young talent, and so if you finishing that and with a 9-3 or 8-4 record, and that young talent's playing a lot, now that just builds for the future.
So there is a lot of young talent. Who excites you right now? Who do you think about when you say young talent?
When I look at the running back position, you know, the Taylor, is it Taylor? The freshman, that not even
Trey Bryant.
Yeah, Trey Bryant. I mean, it slipped my mind, but you know, just some of the things, just watching his highlight film from high school, and then just watching some of the things that I've seen.
There's a lot of
practice. He has an opportunity and the ability to go out there and make some things happen. And I'm glad to see that they're going to start him on special teams. Doing some returns, and then ease him into the game with some running plays. But get him. I've always grown up around football. Get your best players on the field. No matter whether a freshman or senior, get the best player on the field. And if he's young, and if you're expecting big things for him, get him out there on special teams to where he can get used to college football.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him, and then Lamar Jackson, which is a cornerback, I think.
Right.
A lot of good things out of both those guys, and it sounds like both of them will get quite a bit of playing time.
Yeah, defense, Lamar Jackson is definitely the guy that I think can push the guys who will be in front of him. And you know, one thing about young guys on defense, they don't care. They're just out there having fun and playing the game. It's when you get older is when you start thinking about it and start trying to do too much. But he's going to be out there. He's going to be out there, and he's going to have fun. And so those two guys, I'm very excited from the young class, the freshman class. I'm very excited about them.
I think them, and then I'm interested to see what happens with the Davis twins. So with them playing in the mix, they're not starting. I think they're one second string, and the other might be third or somewhere. Right. But I would assume, you know, brothers have a lot of competition, and that competition, I would think, would resonate through the rest of the defense, or at least in the defensive line.
Well, I don't know if they're competing against each other. I think they're just competing against everyone else because, you know, Nebraska's defensive line took a hit this offseason when both Malik Collins and Vincent Valentine decided to leave, and then people wondering why that they didn't make a good choice. But when you got both those guys going in the third round, you know, that's not too shabby, especially juniors who didn't have the season that the top picks had. You know, so it's going to give all these guys opportunities to go out there and show what they can do early, and to establish the rotation is you're going to have to go out there. You have to play all these guys early, and I think the Davis twins they have a chance if they go out there and don't worry about trying to be perfect.
Yeah. What about those are the young guys? What about the returners? Who excites you the most? There's a ton of talent on this team.
There's a ton of talent. You know, the area that I'm focusing most on right now are the linebackers.
Yeah.
You know, that has been the question mark for the last 2 or 3 years here at Nebraska. How well can those guys play? And there is some talent there, but it's just not enough depth there. And so hopefully that they found enough depth that they can go out there and play on a more consistent basis, because the back end is going to be pretty good this year. I'm very confident and very pleased with what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing with the back four, with the corners and the safeties.
Yeah.
But it's that linebacker group that has been the weak link, in my opinion, of this defense.
It's really been weak since Levante David's been here, right? He kind of carried the load for a couple of years there, and then it's just really tapered off. And
And they've had a lot of injuries at that position too. And then, of course, just think about the players that left the program before the staff got here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent that should be seniors right now, juniors and seniors that left the program. That this shouldn't even be a conversation, but they're not here. So they had to fill in positions in the linebacker position where you never thought you would have to play this many young guys so early.
Well, you talk about people leaving the program. Do you see about Johnny Stanton? Remember Johnny Stanton?
Remember Johnny Stanton?
California kid, was the big quarterback. It was, I think he's like 6'4", 240 or something ridiculously big. Just came out, I think yesterday, that he is starting now for UNLV.
Well, of course, who's the offensive coordinator out there?
Yeah,
Barney Cotton. Who's the offensive line coach out there? He played football at Nebraska. But it doesn't say anything about Nebraska. It just shows how different coaches view different players. He couldn't get on the field here at Nebraska, but what does that say about UNLV? Did they not have the talent, or did he really go out there and prove that he can play this game? I don't question a player's talent, because there's a lot of teams out here that players might not start for one but go start for another and have very successful careers. So I wish Johnny Stanton the best.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of players leave. Brandon Hurd.
Aaron Green. Aaron Green left, and he's a perfect example too. He couldn't get on the field here.
Yeah.
But he goes to TCU and was leading the team in rushing in the last couple of years. Cody Green's another one. So I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work at one university and it works at another.
Yeah. So hopefully the best for him. I thought, we lost A.J. Bush too this year, so he's headed over to JUCO, and then he'll probably find his way to another.
That for me, that was probably one of the most disappointing things I heard coming out of the fall camp. Because, and I'm not saying the kid made the wrong decision, because you got to make decisions for yourself. But if it was something that you were contemplating for a while, why go through as much of fall camp that you went through, then decide to leave? Because now you put yourself behind the 8 ball if you do transfer. Even going to Iowa Western. Yeah. He got to go in there and try to learn a whole new system and get it acclimated in that program there. So I mean, it was just tough for him, and it's tough on the program because there was respect for him to compete for the backup job. But you make decisions based on how you feel, and he felt that it was time for him to leave. And I don't fault him for that, but I just think that he waited too late to make that decision.
Yeah, he absolutely waited too late. I would agree with that. Yeah. But you look at it, I mean, he's not going to start this year. Might not get much playing time this year, and then when you go into next year, the dynamics at the quarterback position really change up. You got Patrick O'Brien, you got Tanner from. They're saying a lot of great things. So.
Maybe he saw the writing on the wall. Maybe he realized that he was going to be the third stringer this year, and then
there's something to be said for wanting to play. Some kids just want to play.
Yeah, and every kid wants to play. Yeah. And of course he's probably hearing it from family, friends, and other people that he grew up with saying, "How come you're not playing?" or this. But people don't know what's actually going on behind those doors. And when in meetings, was he picking the offense up well or not, or wasn't he? So. He made the decision that it was best for him to transfer because he wanted to try to get on the field, and Iowa West might be the best avenue for him.
Yeah, I got to admire Darlington. Like everybody forgot about Darlington. And
I did.
And the guy stuck it out. He's still here, and it sounds like he's going to do. He's going to hold the ball for punt or kickoffs, and
that is a kid who realized that he wasn't going to play at quarterback here, but he wanted to stay here and help the program out any way he can. And he found a place, and look, he might eventually be moved back to quarterback because they want to redshirt Patrick O'Brien this year. So he might be the third stringer in an emergency case, but that's those type of players that I truly enjoy the most of guys who don't pout and sulk, and because he came out of high school highly regarded.
Yeah, very highly regarded.
Very highly regarded, but he didn't work out at quarterback, so he said, "Well, can I play receiver?"
Yeah,
because that to me that's what you call
that's a tough transition.
That's a tough transition, but it shows you the type of caliber kid he is, that he wanted to stay at Nebraska. He didn't want to leave.
So do you think they should redshirt Patrick O'Brien?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he should, especially when you got Tommie.
The reason I asked that is you got Tommie.
You got Riker Fife. Which compare, but you don't want to waste a year on a guy if you know he's not going to play much. Now if Tommie was to get hurt early in the season, then you consider bringing him out. But right now,
that's the only reason. I was just wondering, do you give him experience while you got all these other guys coming in next year?
No, he got his experience in spring ball. He can't come in early. So I think by redshirting him, it gives him more opportunity to truly understand the college game. And people need to understand, coming out of high school, not every freshman freedom quarterback can play right away. Because there's a lot of things that come into play. And people, I didn't start right away. Because there was a lot of things.
How many games did it take you?
It took me 5 games. And it was one of those deals where I felt I was ready to come out of fall camp. But as I started playing, there's a lot more that goes into it, learning how to call the right plays. Make sure the right personnel's on the field. Make sure you're reading the right defense. Make sure you got the right audible call. I mean, so it's tough. It's not easy for a true freshman quarterback to play. Because once you play a true freshman quarterback, you can't sit him down anymore. So you got to take the good with the bad with a true freshman quarterback.
Well, we had a true freshman quarterback in Tommie Armstrong, and now he's going into his 4th season. What do you think about Tommie going into the season? What do you like to see that we haven't seen from him yet, or what do you think? Maybe we will just see the same old Tommie.
Well, I hope we don't see the same old Tommie, and that's a two-part question. That's a twofold question. I hope you don't see the Tommie who, when pressure gets on him, he reverts back to his old ways. You know, you don't spend all this time down in Mississippi working at the Peyton Manning camp or work with Brett Favre to revert back to your old ways when the pressure gets hot. Okay, so hopefully he's learned from the mistakes last year and improve on that. And I know people saying when there's rumors that he's having bad days in practice and all that kind of stuff. People, I don't care what he does in practice. You know, it's practice. It's what he does on game day. You know, there's a lot of guys. I threw interceptions in practice. I thrown the ball in practice. But how does that translate to the game? You know, so I don't worry about that. And then the second part of that is, what are the coaching staff going to do to put him in the best position to be successful? Are they going to try to make him sit back there and do a 3-step, 5-step drop and throw from the pocket, or are they going to move him out of the pocket and let him run the football a little bit, get a good feel of the game? Yeah. So that's why I say it's a 2-part answer to that question.
It's a great analogy or insight about that, because they did a great job with UCLA in the bowl game.
Yeah, they got him outside. They ran a little zone read with him. They didn't force him to sit in the pocket and have to throw the ball downfield, because that's not his strength. We all know that.
Yeah.
You know, so the coaches, so Coach Langsdorff can control some of the success that he has. Now, if you put him in no position to be successful and you make mistakes, then that's on the quarterback.
And Langsdorff and who's the other one? I can't remember which other coach. 2 of the coaches now are moving up. Oh, Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh, Coach Kavanaugh.
What's the difference between, or what do you? You've done coaching. What's the difference between being on the sideline?
Here's the difference. I coached when I was at Baylor University.
Yeah.
I coached when I was in the press box, and I coached from the sideline. I can honestly say, when you're the offensive line coach and you're the offensive coordinator, you see more things upstairs because you see the bigger picture, and that's why you see a lot of coordinators up in the box, and a lot of offensive line coaches in the box, because they can see things. They can see how the offensive line are moving, how they switching things up, so they can design a blocking scheme or changing the game. You know, so for me, I like it down on the field because I like being part of the game. You know, so but I think it's a good move that those 2 guys are moving up into the press box, because they're the most important part to me. Those are the 2 most important people on this offense.
Yeah.
And if it's going to benefit Nebraska by them being up there because they can see the game better and not have to worry about all the sideline noise, then it's great call by Mike Riley putting them up there.
Yeah, I like to see them making adjustments where he thinks it's going to help the team, and that's, if it's coaching, great. If it's player or anything, I just like to see movement and things that they continue to work on. Now this is year number 2, and I know what it's like to manage a team. So I know year number 1 it had to be a challenge. He's the CEO,
right?
And so now he's got a year under his belt. I still don't think that's totally enough time to get all the processes and the right people in the place.
No, people.
Right.
It's truly, when you bring in a new coach, not every coach is going to have success early. And I know people look at what Nick Saban did, or look at what Bob Stoops did his second year, or look what Urban Meyer did his second year at Ohio State. Well, guess what? When those guys got to those schools, they had players. All they had to do was go in there and implement their style of football. You know, I'm not saying that the cupboard was bare at Nebraska when Mike Riley got here, but they didn't have enough parts. And when you don't have enough parts, that's when you get in trouble, because those guys get injured and you got to fill in. So to me, this is a 3, 4, 5 year process, because you got to give this guy a chance to get his full class through. And I don't, in his first year, that's not his full class because he was piecemeal. But this class that he just signed this year, that's his first full class. So once those stars guys become juniors and seniors, then that's when the verdict should be out.
They're calling like this coming up class looks like it might be the most successful recruiting class in history.
Yeah, well, and I say
that from a recruiting perspective.
And right, and I was going to say that I say recruiting players, but at the end of the day, you still got to coach them up.
Yeah.
And so you can have 10 4-stars and then 2 5-stars and 8 3-stars. Doesn't matter if you can't coach them up.
Yeah.
And they get here and aren't players, because I've seen a lot of guys who are 5-stars who didn't pan out, but I've seen a lot of guys who were 2-stars and 3-stars became all world.
Johnny Stanton.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those deals to where once you get them here on campus, yes, you got to recruit talent. That's first and foremost. But recruiting talent doesn't guarantee you victories. You got to coach them up and get them to play the way they're supposed to play.
No matter what happens to Keyshawn Johnson Jr., I love the fact that he's coming here and he's done a lot to talk up this program and to get other recruits interested. So I don't know how great it'll be or not. It doesn't even matter at this point. I'm just excited that he did his part to help out.
Yeah, and all those guys have potential.
Yeah.
But how are they going to adapt to the college game is my biggest question, because it's not easy. Because if that was the case, all the top 5-star freshmen who came on every campus, they would be playing right away.
Yeah.
And I don't care who you have. I don't care who you have starting for you. If they're as good as they claim to be, and if college football was easy for a freshman to come and play right away, you'll see a lot more of true freshmen playing.
Yeah. All right. So this week, Fresno State.
Yes, Fresno State. Wow.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals to where I think they're actually a little bit better on paper, a bit better than what they seem like on paper. Just like once again, this is coach's second year. He brought in a couple new, pretty much a whole new entire staff.
Yeah.
But they got some talent. Though that's the one thing about Fresno State that I will not count out the talent that they have there, because they have that junior college scene right there in their backyard, and it's just one of those deals. It's the first game. No one's going to know what type of mistakes each team is going to make. But I think Nebraska can do enough and be successful with them. The only thing that's on question is alarming me right now is the 3-4 defense that Fresno State runs.
Yeah.
And wow, you can do a lot of pressure packages out of a 3-4 defense, and you can actually more so than you can a 4-3. So it depends on how well Nebraska pick up those pressures.
Yeah, I know they replaced most of their offensive line and they got a new quarterback, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them struggle on offense. I think Nebraska wins this easily.
Well, I think they win it easily, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be easy right away. I think it's going to be one of those deals where Nebraska has, once they find a groove. Because there's going to be a lot of jitters and nerves going on because what happened last year, and it's going to be a little kind of let's ease our kids, let's ease Nebraska into the game.
I would assume that they're going to come out and probably just run the ball heavily.
I would think so. I think you show, and that's what Nebraska fans want. So you go out there and you try to establish a running game, and because what that does is takes the pressure off who? Tommie.
Yeah.
To where he doesn't have to try to be the best player in college football right away. Take the pressure off him, and so if your running game is going, then just hand the ball off and win the game that way.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. That's this Saturday. So we're recording. So this will go out tonight.
Let's go out tonight, and then
Fresno on Saturday, and then
Sunday. I mean, we'll be back. We'll be back Sunday.
Sunday, talking about it and talking about Wyoming and the return of Craig Bowl.
Yeah, I actually won't be here for that game. I'll actually be in West Virginia.
Oh, where are you going to West Virginia?
We kind of got this deal to where about 4 or 5 of us are going. I have a good buddy who lives there, who's a huge West Virginia booster. And he invited us out because they play Youngstown State, and so it's going to be one of those.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So did you see the comment by Tom Osborne that just came out? Was that yesterday or today?
I think it was at the Big Red. Yeah, I saw it, and it was everything that I knew.
Yeah,
everything I knew, and I don't understand why people won't just let that stay where it is.
I don't even know why it became a real big story. You know that Osborne thought it was probably a mistake after a certain point. He didn't know his demeanor.
Yeah, no one. Well, I kind of knew his demeanor, but. Bo didn't do a lot of bad things because he did win a lot of football games here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the most important part of it is being a PR person for the university and for the state of Nebraska. That's what got Bo where he's at. Not his X's and O's, because he won a lot of games. He won more games here than Frank Solis.
He would probably be a great coach in another place, but there's a certain expectation.
There's a certain expectation because there's the marketing side of it, there's the PR side of it, and he just didn't have it. So as a AD, sometimes you don't know that stuff until you get him here. and it happens. So I just want people to let that in the media, just let that die.
Yeah.
It's over and done with. Let's focus on what we have here. Let's focus on Mike Riley, how he handles the media, how he handles the press, how he handles the fans, how he's an open book to where he's not trying to be combative. That's what I like to deal with.
I love listening to that guy.
Yeah, because you know when he says something, it's probably going to be 99% actual. He's not going to say stuff just to be saying it.
No, he's straightforward and straight shooter and doesn't BS, and he's got a great demeanor to himself. So.
Oh yes, he doesn't get too high, get too low, and that as a head coach, that's what I like.
All right, you want to make a prediction?
Oh, I'll say Nebraska probably 42-14. 42-14.
I was going to say 45-17. So
yeah, so I mean,
that ballpark.
I think the point spread going to be a push. If I think it's 28 now, so 42. So I think my math is right. I don't think they're going, but who knows? If turnover's the key though.
Yeah, turnover. Special teams will be interesting.
Special teams.
Pearsonell's going to play again?
Yes, I'm pulling for that kid.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pulling for it. I hope he can rebound from the injury.
I hope so. All right, so Sunday, we're back.
We'll be back here Sunday.
Try to do the Space Book Live thing again, and hopefully it plays out a little better next time. It doesn't look bad, though.
Doesn't look bad?
No, I hope it sounded okay.
Okay, we'll get the kinks worked out, and then we'll be back next week.
All right. Guess it doesn't want to play. All right.